Guess which team is 0-3? It's not the Patriots. It's not the Bills. It's the god-darn Jets. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Today on the show, there's actually a whole lot to talk about. A lot of games from this weekend in the NFL, and the baseball playoff picture is set. And we're going to go through it and talk about all those teams. So stick with us, friends, because sports starts now. And welcome to the Sports Podcast with me, your host, Nick Drago. For those of you out there in the world that are new to the program, welcome to the rootinest, tootinest good time in town. That's right, you're living it. For those of you who have never been here before, we'd like to talk about all the sports news and information from the previous week and give you some insight onto the next week, month, year, whatever. So today, a lot of stuff to talk about. I had a pretty boring weekend, and I know I don't have many of those, but no, I literally did yard work and just work, caught up on work. So that's about it. I got nothing else to say on that. So let's talk about the sports, right? Let's get into some of the games from football. Do you ever have that feeling like you're going to hiccup? There it is. Well, now I've hiccuped, so now we can continue on. I get a lot of weird bodily functions on this show, don't I? Okay, I probably fart like 7 or 8 times an episode. Okay, and I've sharted one time. I'm just kidding. Okay, Thursday Night Football, Dolphins got a win over the Jaguars 31-13. 49ers, despite playing at MetLife again, despite losing half of their team, they won today 36-9. They held the Giants to 0 touchdowns, and Mullins had a pretty good game filling in for Jimmy Garoppolo, 343 yards and 1 touchdown. Maybe they're rethinking Jimmy G. Browns got a win over Washington, 34-20. First time in 6 years that the Browns have a winning record. You go, Baker. All right, Eagles and Bengals end in a tie today, 23-23. Hey, Eagles fans, it's not a loss, although it's sad that you tied the Bengals of all teams. Patriots got the best of the Raiders, 36-20. Bears barely got past the Falcons, 30-26. Nick Foles had to step in for Trubisky and led the team to victory. Bills got a win over the Rams, 35-32, despite a very good day on the field for Jared Goff. 2 touchdowns, 321 yards. Henderson with 114 yards on 20 carries. And Kupp had 107 yards receiving. So statistically, it was a good day for the Rams. Steelers got the best of the Texans, 28-21. Vikings lost to the Titans by 1 point, 31-30. Bengals beat the Chargers, 21-16. Chargers without Tyrod Taylor this week as he recovers from a punctured lung. That's right, a doctor who was treating him for a rib injury ended up puncturing his lung, so that held him out at least a week. Herbert did pretty good in his debut, 330 yards, 1 touchdown, but he did throw a pick. Oh, the Jets. Oh, my beloved Jets. They lost 36-7. It gets worse every week. It literally has gotten worse and worse every week. They lost 36-7 to the Colts. Seahawks got a win over the Cowboys, 38-31. Lions beat the Cardinals, 26-23. Bucks got a win over the Broncos, 28-10. And the Packers and Saints, they're playing right now. Pack is up 3-0, but it's literally just a few minutes into the first quarter. Chiefs and Ravens, that's going to be tomorrow night, and that should be an exciting game. Possible Super Bowl matchup one day, perhaps, maybe, hopefully. I'd like to see that soon. So, yeah. That's always fun. Let's take a look, though. Let's take a look at the standings. Bills are ahead in the AFC East, 3-0. Patriots are right on their heels at 2-1. Dolphins 1-2, Jets 0-3. In the West, the Chiefs are up 2-0. The Raiders are 2-1. Chargers are 1-2, and the Broncos 0-3. In the AFC North, you have the Steelers up 3-0. Ravens are 2-0. Browns are 2-1, and then the Bengals at 0-2-1. Still no wins for the Bengals. In the AFC South, it's the Titans who are 3-0. Yeah, Titans, good for you guys. The Colts are 2-1, Jags are 1-2, and the Texans are 0-3. Going on to the NFC, Washington football team still on top of the NFC East. Way to go, Washington football team. I'm telling you, it was the name. It probably won't last like this for long. Cowboys are 1-2, Eagles are 0-2, and the Giants are 0-3. This is a weird division. Really weird division. NFC West, the Seahawks are 3-0. Cardinals 2-1. Rams 2-1. And the 49ers 2-1. That's not a weird division. That is a tight division. I want to see more of that division. NFC North, the Bears are 3-0. Packers 2-0. Lions 1-2. And the Vikings 0-3. Kirk Cousins. Come on, man. NFC, the Banganeers. The Buccaneers are 2-1. Thanks to Mr. Thomas Brady. Saints are 1-1. That could change tonight. Panthers are 1-2. And the Falcons 0-3. Ryan Fitzpatrick, by the way, enters the record books today. After leading the Miami Dolphins over the Jacksonville Jaguars, he is the first player to beat one team 6 times with 6 different teams. Apparently, that's a stat we keep track of. That's right. He's beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars 6 times with 6 different teams. So congratulations, I guess. Tariq Cohen will be out. Bears are worried that it could be a knee injury, possibly. It is a knee injury, possibly an ACL, which means he's going to need an MRI to confirm. But he could be out for the season. Let's see. I mentioned the Cleveland Browns winning. Darius Leonard, during I believe it was a practice this week. Someone who worked for Bleacher Report was in. Him and his nephew were in the stands, and I think Darius Leonard handed his nephew one of his gloves after practice, not realizing that inside the glove was his wedding band. I think he needs that. So they posted it on Instagram with a comment, "How do we get this back to him?" And his response was, "I need that." So Darius Leonard almost lost his wedding ring there. Joe Montana there was a home intruder at his house today. Was it today? On Saturday. This is according to TMZ Sports. They're a very reliable source. Joe Montana and his wife Jennifer had to wrestle one of their grandchildren away from a home intruder. Yes, that intruder is now in custody and will be arrested. They were arrested on kidnapping and burglary charges. So, Joe Montana, all right. And the Raiders are being investigated by the NFL due to a possible COVID protocol violation. Apparently, they had somebody in the locker room that they should not have. And another big news out there, 2 female coaches and 1 female official were all in the field together today making NFL history. It's the first time that we had a female coach on the sideline and a female official on the field. So that was a big deal today, too. All right, let's go to baseball, because I know baseball's big. We're about to hit the playoffs, just a couple days away. And so I want to give you the preview you deserve. A lot of scenarios could have happened today, but here's... I'm sorry, a little stuffed up. I got the COVID! No, I'm just kidding. All right, a lot of scenarios that could have happened today. Let's talk through a few of these here. So, this is how it all turned out. In the AL East, the Rays, Yankees, and Blue Jays all got into the playoffs. The Twins, Indians, White Sox for the AL Central, and the Athletics and Astros for the AL West. In the National League, it was the Braves taking their division, followed by the Marlins. In the NL Central, you had the Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, and Brewers. And in the NL West, you had the Padres and Dodgers. So the way that evens out, we're going to go through all these matchups in a moment here, but I'm going to announce them all first. So the wild card series will include Tampa Bay versus the Blue Jays, Cleveland versus New York, the Twins and the Astros, the A's, and the White Sox. For the National League, you'll have the Dodgers and the Brewers, the Padres and the Cardinals, the Cubs and the Marlins, and the Braves taking on the Reds. A couple teams here that I was somewhat surprised made it in, but I want to talk through a few of these series here. So first off, the Rays and the Blue Jays. You know, the Rays have been basically on top for most of the month of September. They benefited greatly from the Yankees having a huge slump basically over the last half a month or so, and then, you know, they put it together at the end. They lost Yandy Diaz, but they have Brandon Lowe, who has 52 hits, a 270 batting average, 14 home runs. Joey Wendell's playing really well. He's got 47 hits. I really like Tyler Glass now, who's 5-1 with a 4.8 ERA. They also have Josh Fleming, who's undefeated, and 20... Oh my goodness. I'm sneezing, I'm sniffling. I'm not sick, anybody. Just, I was outside gardening and weeding all day, so it's probably just allergies. I'm sure that's what everybody says. You know, the Rays in my head, they're inexperienced as far as the playoffs goes, but compared to the Blue Jays, they're a far superior team. The Blue Jays are very young. They actually only have one position player over the age of 30, and that's Travis Shaw. They got 3 double-digit home run hitters in Hernandez, Grichuk, and Gurriel. But they also have 2 pitchers with a 7+ ERA. Juan Ryu has a 2.69 ERA. He's 5-2. So, you know, I think the Blue Jays, if you compare the two teams, I think they have the better offense, but the Rays get on base a lot. And the Blue Jays pitching is not great. That's why I'm going with the Rays in this series. For the Indians and the Yankees, Indians have some good pitching, actually really good pitching, and Shane Bieber, who's 8-1 with a 1.63 ERA. Most of their bullpen is sub-3. The hitting's a mess. They hit a lot of home runs, but they're small ball, not so great. Yankees have a healthy lineup right now. They have a lot of big bats. They can play it long. They can play it small. They have the home run champion in Luke Voit, and they have the batting title winner in DJ LeMahieu. So I like what the Yankees put together. Their pitching is shaky, minus Garrett Cole. I think you're going to have some closer games than you think, but I like the Yankees' bats over the Indians' pitching in this one, so I'm going with the Yankees. Twins and Astros. The Twins have a young team with some big names. Nelson Cruz is 39 years old and still playing well. He's one of their best players. So is Miguel Sano. Pitching isn't bad. Kenta Maeda, he has a 2.70 ERA. Some nice bullpen pieces. Rogers, Clippard, Duffy. For the Astros, Gurriel, Altuve, Correa, Bregman, Springer, Reddick. All of them should be above 300 ERA. They are fantastic hitters, or at least they were when they were using the trash cans. Right now, all of them are under 270. They're not having a good season. Starting pitching really isn't much better without Verlander in the lineup, so they're going to have to rely a lot on that bullpen, and I think the Twins' bats are the better option here. So I'm going with the Twins over the Astros. I actually think that the Twins, it could be their year. They've kind of been stifled the last two, but I like I like what they're putting together. A's and White Sox. Oh, God. Everyone on the A's has a sub-242 batting average, but that's never really a problem for them. They get on base a lot, and that's kind of their thing. Chris Bassett, he's been a good starter, 5-2 with a 2.29 ERA. Mike Fears, he's serviceable. He's going to win you some games, 6-3 this year. Their bullpen, though, is unreal, and I think you're going to see a lot of the bullpen, especially as this playoffs go on. For the White Sox, you got Abreu, you had Tim Anderson. They're on a roll this year, strong bats. Dallas Keuchel is having a revival, 6-3 with a 1.99 ERA, and he's only let up 17 walks. That will be big, and I think it'll get the White Sox a much-needed win right out the gate. And I think they could swing another win after that one. I think the White Sox, I'm going with them over the A's. I know it's a surprise. The A's look really good all season. But I just think that the White Sox pitching is a little bit better and will be good about keeping them off base. Not a lot of walks. Dodgers and Brewers. The Dodgers have Will Smith, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, and Mookie Betts, all of which have a .290 batting average or better. Plus, they have 5 double-digit home run hitters, and Blake Treinen is the only player with an ERA above 4, and it's 4.01. Meanwhile, the Brewers have Christian Yelich, who's having an ice-cold season. They have nobody batting over .250. Really strong bullpen, though. Sutter, Williams, Yardley, plus Josh Hader's killing it as a closer. But to me, this is a no-brainer. Dodgers all the way. They have superior hitting. They have superior batting. Hitting and batting, are they different? They are. Prove me wrong. Email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. Padres and Cardinals. The Padres are the talk of the league. They really are. Machado, Tatis, Tommy Pham, Eric Hosmer, also Will Meyer. I like this lineup. I really do. They have youth, and they have a lack of playoff experience. It could hold them back if they go on a deep run. Zach Davies, Dinelson Lamet. I don't know how the heck to say that name. They'll lead the way. They'll eat up innings in those first 2 games, and that may be all they need to get past the Cardinals, who really beyond Paul Goldschmidt, who's quietly putting together a pretty decent season. Wainwright, he's 38 years old. He's still proving his worth. I like their bullpen. They lost Dakota Hudson. That really hurt the team. But, to me, the Padres, they have been on a roll this year. I think going against a team like the Dodgers or the Braves, they probably won't do as well. But the Cardinals, I think they'll beat easily. Cubs and Marlins. Cubs are really great at getting on base. They win. It's not very flashy, but they get the wins they need. Yu Darvish, he's having a great season, 8-3 with a 2.01 ERA. Plus Kyle Hendricks, he was 6-5, and they have a good bullpen. For the Marlins, I do like every player in that lineup's in their prime, that 26 to 31 range. They're a surprise team this year. They faced a lot of adversity, being the first team to contract COVID. They're out partying. The pitching's a bit of a mess. Beyond James Hoyt in the bullpen and their closer Brandon Kintzler, the Cubs to me are the no-brainer pick in this one, but I do like what the Marlins put together, and maybe this will turn into some success next year or the year after. Braves and Reds. The Braves have 3 serviceable starters. Max Fried, he had a great year, 7-0, 2.25 ERA. But nobody in the bullpen has an ERA above 3. They will rely very heavily on that. They lost 2 of their starters. That's why I said they have 3 serviceable starters. Three guys who can go out there, eat up innings, and a great bullpen. They may go with a 3-man rotation, and I think that would make perfect sense. The Reds, they're going to get on base a lot. Similarly built to the Cubs, actually. They have decent pitching, but beyond Trevor Bauer, there's no real standouts. To me, it's the Braves in this one. And while we're at it, I think for the ALCS, you got the Yankees and the Twins. For the NLCS, I like the Dodgers and the Braves. I know they're the 1 and 2 seed, but they've been killing it all year, and I think they're going to do well. I see the Dodgers winning the World Series over the Yankees. I know all my Yankee fans are probably like, what? But I think the Yanks are hot at the right time. They have the good bats. But the Dodgers, man. And every year they have this crazy big collapse. And every year they shoot themselves in the foot. I don't think this is that year. So that's the baseball playoff picture. Moving on, 2 big firings today. Billy Epler fired as the Angels GM after 5 seasons with the team. Listen, you have 2 great players. You had 2 great players. Albert Pujols, maybe not so much anymore. But you have the fingerprints of a good team, and especially Mike Trout. But you got to put something else on the table. You got to get him some players. You got to get this kid to the playoffs. Baseball wants it. Billy Epler fired. Red Sox manager Ron Roenick will not be returning for the 2021 baseball season, so Dodgers will be also looking for a new manager as well. All right, let's finish off the show. MLB. NBA. Right now, it's halftime. Heat are just beating the Celtics 62-61. If Miami does win tonight, they'll be playing the Lakers in the final. Lake Show beat the Nuggets 117-107 yesterday. And regardless whether it's Heat or Celtics, I really like what the Lakers are putting together. LeBron James looked fantastic out there. I think he had a triple-double. And I think he has the most triple-doubles now in league history. Did I read that right? I could be wrong on that one. I like what he's putting together. They got Anthony Davis. They have a deeper bench than we expected them to have. The Celtics and the Heat are good teams, but how will they do against two true superstars? I don't know. We'll find out. The other big news is we all know Mike D'Antoni is going to be leaving Houston. The front runner right now, 76ers, and apparently it's his to lose. Apparently the 76ers love him. Joel Embiid gives his blessing, whatever that means for a 24, 25-year-old player who, he's an all-star, but he hasn't really done too much in the league yet. You got to win, kid, or at least get to a semifinals, something. But either way, 76ers could get D'Antoni, and if they do, there's a chance he could bring James Harden with him. Maybe that's a pipe dream, but maybe the Sixers end up with a really great player like that. I don't know. In the hockey world, the Stars stave off elimination yesterday, winning 3-2 in double overtime. The Lightning are this close to winning it all, but they did lose Steven Stamkos for the rest of the playoffs. Well, it could be 1 or 2 games left, depending on how they play. Yes, they're losing their best scorer, or one of their best scorers. Lightning still have a good team. Anything can happen in these next 2 games. The Stars really trying to push for 7 and win it all. But we'll see what happens. Next game is tomorrow. And then the New York Rangers. I know we never talk about the Rangers. But they traded away Mark Stahl to the Red Wings. And a second-round pick in 2021 in exchange for future consideration. So I think the Rangers are just trying to shed that money. And he'll go to the Red Wings, who don't really need a serviceable defenseman like Mark Stahl because the Red Wings are terrible. But either way, he'll be a bigger name for them. Bigger name than they've had in a while. And Conor McGregor is apparently ready for his next matchup. Him and Dana White were discussing back and forth, trying to figure out something for him. Now he's saying he might want to face Manny Pacquiao in a boxing match. I mean, listen, we saw McGregor, the McGregor and Mayweather fight. McGregor isn't as good at boxing as he is at UFC. But maybe this would be an interesting fight. I don't know. So who knows? Next time we see McGregor, it could be donning the boxing gloves once again. He wants those big money fights. And honestly, there aren't many big money, big name stars left in UFC. He is the biggest name in UFC. I'm sorry, if you're a big fan of the sport, I understand there are a ton of great athletes. There are a ton of great big names. But if you're looking at household names, Manny Pacquiao is a bigger household name than anybody in UFC right now. Anyone. And so Conor McGregor, he wants that big prize money. He wants that big prize fight. All right, friends, we're going to close out the show. Thank you so much to Johanna Drago. She's the content editor, logo designer, and occasional set designer. I say occasional because we haven't designed this set yet. It's basically just lotions and a bookshelf and some plastic tubs. Ignore this room. I'm just going to hover myself in front of it. Those listening to the podcast version are like, what the heck are you talking about? We are on YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and the Facebook. So if you want to see me, check us out there. And who else? Special thanks to our social media warriors, Mary Kay Albert, Gary Albert, Joe Calabro. He listens in a lot. So special thanks, as usual, to all of them. And we got to thank Josh Woodward. The song you hear for the show is a song by Josh Woodward called Golden Sunrise. You can find a link to his website in the show notes. And with that, friends, I'm done. I'm done talking about the sports today. Like I said, you can find me on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. You can also email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. Like, comment, share, Twitter at me, and do all the funky doo-doos that you do so well. Okay, I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep the night away. I hope you guys enjoy your time. And by next week, we're going to have baseball season starting, and we're going to have NBA finals starting. Or maybe midway through, probably by next week. And we probably will, have a Stanley Cup champion. Stick with us, friends. We got another fun week of sports next week. And now I'm farting right now. I know I'm doing it right at this moment. Thanks, friends. Good night.